This video is for Chapter 2, and this is going to teach you how to do one-step conversions. We're going to do one-step conversions using the factor label method. Now, on your note packet, you will notice that we gave you a whole bunch of helpful conversions involving length, volume, mass, and time. The conversions we've provided for you are all either English to metric or metric to English. We do expect that you know how to do metric to metric without a list of conversions. So you will need to memorize all metric to metric prefixes, but you will be given a list of English to metric. So make sure you have that list of conversions handy as you go through the video. We're going to learn how to do conversions by a method we call dimensional analysis, or the factor label method. And you did see this in 9th grade physical science. You learned how to do this once before. We're just going to make sure you remember how to do it in this unit of chemistry. Conversion factor is just a statement of equality. So examples of conversion factors could be 1 foot is 12 inches. Or we could use another metric conversion. 1 meter is 100 centimeters. We could say 1 hour is 60 minutes. All of those things are conversion factors. When we're going to do the math of these problems, we're going to write our conversion factors like fractions. And we can show you, like with the 1 foot and 12 inches, you can either put 1 foot over 12 inches or 12 inches over 1 foot. It all depends on how you're going to use it in the problem. One thing to keep in mind is that conversion factors have unlimited numbers of significant digits. That means when you do a conversion, you only have to care about the number of significant digits in the number they're asking you to convert, and just make sure you report your answer to that same number of significant digits when you're done. Don't forget that you always need every number to have a label. So instead of writing 1, I would want to write 1 foot or 1 meter or 1 minute, whatever it is. So the best way to learn how to do these problems is actually by doing an example. And I hope you see that this maybe reminds you of what you did in 9th grade. So here are the examples we're going to do today. They're all going to be one step. Convert the following using the factor label method. You need to report your answer to the correct number of significant digits. So if this were a test, and this was the question you were given, we would want you to receive full credit. You would have to make sure you showed your work using the factor label method. Now, these are the steps. The first thing I want you to do is always write down what you were given. Okay, so the given conversion is 89.7 meters. Now, if you look at what it's asking you to convert to, it's to kilometers. Now, you should know, you should memorize that you can go from any metric unit of meter to a kilometer in one step. I know that you know how to do it by sliding decimals, and that's a perfectly acceptable way to check your work, but I want you to practice doing the factor label method so that when we get to harder, more complex problems where sliding decimals won't work, you're ready. So we've written down the given, and some students find it very helpful to put this given over the number 1. Doesn't change the value of what we've written down. 89.7 over 1 is still the same as 89.7, but it does help us to see the top and our bottom of our fraction very clearly. Now you're going to multiply by a conversion factor. And for starters, I just want you to draw the line, because some students will rush at this step and make silly little mistakes. So if you go slow, you'll be less inclined to make mistakes. Now what we want to do is use the concept of canceling out or factoring out that you learn how to do in algebra. We know that if a label or a number were in the top or the numerator of a fraction, and then later we put it in the bottom of a fraction, that it would cancel out. So since we want meters to go away, we're going to put it down here in the bottom. And what we want to turn it into will go up to the top, kilometers. So right now our units are set up in a way that meters would cancel out. Now, the second thing I want you to worry about are the numbers that go by each of these labels. You're going to ask yourself, which is bigger, a kilometer or a meter? And hopefully you know that 1 kilometer is bigger than 1 meter. So you're going to put the 1 by the unit that is bigger. And then I want you to think about how many meters go into a kilometer. And hopefully you all know that it's 1,000. 1,000 meters make up 1 kilometer. Now before you do any math, look at your labels. The meters have canceled. Now, what you're going to do in your calculator is I always do my math from left to right and top to bottom. So I'm taking 89.7 times 1, which I hope that you don't actually have to put in your calculator. But anything that's on the bottom, any number that you have on the bottom, you're going to divide by. So really, I'm taking 89.7 and I'm dividing by 1,000, which when you put that in your calculator should give you 0.0897, and then we're going to have a label, kilometers. Now, if you look, 89.7 has 3 significant digits. My answer needs to have 3 significant digits as well, and right now, it does. I could leave my answer like that. That's perfectly acceptable. You could also write it in scientific notation. However, you do not have to in this case. So either answer is totally acceptable. Let's do another example of a one-step conversion. Now, in this case, we're using English units. So we do not have the option of sliding decimals no matter what we do. We are always going to start by writing down the given. So I have 2,678.4 inches. And for a lot of you, it will be helpful to see the top and the bottom of the fraction if you put it over 1. The next step is to multiply by a conversion factor. Just draw your line. Now decide, what label do you want to be canceling out? The label you want to cancel out is the one you're trying to get rid of, which is inches. We want to turn it into feet. And we know that we can go from inches to feet in one step because we know that 1 foot has 12 inches. If you look at your math, the inches are going to cancel out. And mathematically, what you are doing here is taking 2,678.4 and you are dividing by 12. Now, your calculator will give you an answer of 223.2. How many significant digits did we have in our given? Well, if you look back here, 26784. Okay, there are 5 digits that are significant in that number. If I look at my answer that my calculator gave me, I only have 1, 2, 3, 4 of these digits that are significant. So I have to make a 5th significant digit, and I can do that by adding a 0 just to the end of the problem. And this would be a final answer. Now, don't forget to do your learning check on one-step conversions. Good luck.